Hi, friends. Welcome back to the station. Or this channel, whatever. I've been away for a number of years doing other stuff. Not coming back to the rat channel, but hopefully some people got some help out of it. It worked for somebody. It certainly worked for me. I noticed some people made comments about what a cheapo I am for cleaning all the parts and taking them or for taking the parts back. But I cleaned them thoroughly. I used soap and water and even some alcohol at some point, some kind of solvent at some point for some reason. I guess I had tape residue or something. I cleaned it and I took it back. Okay, so I got $25 back for all that parts, and it's not like $25 is nothing. And I had no use for it other than that. So it's drain pipe. What the hell do you complain about? It's drain pipe. Anyway, enough of that. So this time we got mice. I got a mouse problem in this place I'm living in. Had this been here for a number of years, but never had any kind of mice problem. No bugs or anything like that either. Been a great place that way, but just over the winter here in the last couple of months we've had some mice. And so I plugged up all the holes, but they're still driving me nuts. And regular snap traps, which everybody knows, these types of traps, they can work for a while, but then after a while, the mice get used to it. If they see their buddies killed by it, they get used to the idea that they don't go near those, and they get used to other traps too. Like I've seen them get used to bucket traps. The bucket trap works great, but once they're used to it, it doesn't work no more. They get used to all traps after a while if they see enough of their friends murdered, I guess, or they smell it or something. So yeah, this is a different thing I'm going to show you in a minute. But with regards to the snap traps, if you tie the peanut on there, if you use a little bit of thread, I don't know if you can see that, you just use a little bit of thread and you tie the peanut on there, then it makes it much more effective, because then the mice have to tug and tug at that trigger, at that peanut, to try to get it to release. And then when they tug hard enough, it makes it so much tougher, because if it's just peanut butter, they can just lick it off and they can escape. We've all seen that probably. But if you take a little drill, and then you drill sideways through the peanut, not to the seam, right? If you hit the seam, it'll split it. If you go across 90 degrees to the seam, then you can patiently pull the material out, drill a hole through the peanut, feed a thread through, and then through the trigger, and tie that peanut on there with a couple of knots. And I'll tell you, that increased the efficiency of these very effective and time-tested Victor traps. But if you don't secure the bait enough, if you just sort of put a dab of peanut butter on there, they'll 90% of the time they'll just lick that off and you won't catch anything. And even sometimes if you take the time to squish the peanut butter in the holes, they'll still lick it out. But with this tied-on peanut, they love the peanuts, by the way. They love the real peanut, and they love raisins too. They love raisins, but peanuts or raisins work great. And tie that peanut on there, because otherwise they'll just be gone with it. But once they get used to the snap trap, it doesn't matter if you tie the peanut. It doesn't matter what you put on there. They're not going to go to it. Once they know that it kills them if they go near it. They won't go near it anymore. Excuse my language. All right, and so here's the new one. So the new one consists this is for mice, not rats. Although you could use this technique for rats, I imagine. Just got to get big enough AllenKey and big enough bowl. So you have a bowl. This is just a plain old chip bowl that I got at or I had lying around, but you can probably get them at the dollar store. Plastic rim is, not round but not flat either. And as you can see, the sides go like that. What is that? Concave. So here's the bait rod. What I call the bait rod. It's the AllenKey. It's an AllenKey that's about as long as my fingers, a little longer, and that's about an inch or so, like a digit, knuckle. And you want it tall enough here, because this is how high this determines the crack of the bowls. Because you're setting that bowl on the floor, right? And then this goes inside the bowl. This holds the bowl up, and so you want this up enough so that the mouse can get under the crack without touching anything and setting it off early. So an inch and a bit is fine. Okay, so you put this on the long part. That's a raisin, nice big juicy raisin on my Raisin Bran. They love it. It's got sugar on it, and they love that too. Okay, and then this is a piece of rye bread. Shove it right through the crust like that. So it stays on there. So you don't want this thing to come off easy. Okay, you want it to have to tug at it and stuff. So now I think you're probably getting the idea what's going to go on here. Okay, but we'll just show you. So the bowl is on the floor. The floor is here, right? The bowl sits on the floor, and then you tilt it up like that and get this thing underneath, and you balance that on the tip, on the edge, I should say. You balance the tip on the edge. Now, with the shape of this bowl, I'm not sure it's going to happen all the time with every shape of bowl, but with this bowl, the sides going outward like that, it forces, when I do it, it forces this up inside like that. And then when it does that, it's kind of just resting, the floor is resting on that elbow, and it becomes very hair trigger, right? If you can get it balanced, it even becomes very hard to balance and keep it in place, because then the bait can swing out like this, and that's no good. You want the critter to have to go inside the trap to get the bait. So it can be hard to balance and get that thing when it goes out like that. It becomes uncontrollable, but you can do it. You can do it. And if it becomes too frustrating for you, you can actually use the bait. If it's long enough, it comes down enough, then it can contact the ground and sort of stabilize itself. Or you can turn the Allen key the other way around. Just put it like that. And so this is resting on the floor like that, and the bowl simply rests on the edge like that. You see that? Okay. Now, the problem with this one, the disadvantage with this one, is that the mouse does have to move it around quite a bit. He has to pull that stick around quite a bit before it actually lets go, because it's a little more stable this way. When you have it balanced this way, just on the tip, and this thing's swinging around like I was showing you, because it comes up like that, that's like a hair trigger. That thing will fall off there so easy. So yeah, try to get it on the tip first. If you find that too frustrating to get it balanced like that, then you can go like that, and you'll find that easier, and it will still be an effective trap. Okay. Okay, can you see that? There you go. That's what it looks like. That's with the tip up. There's balance on the edge. That's actually pretty good. As you can see, the tip is in contact with the ground, or with the windowsill. I'm just going to tap this a little bit so you see that it's a very hair trigger. See? You see that? It's hair trigger there. Well, I mean, it's not touching. It's easy to move, right? And as soon as those critters start tugging around on the thing, then it comes down. Now, if we have it the other way, hang on a sec. Okay, and now here's the other way. With it turned tip down, the Allen key's turned tip down, and it's much more stable. The critter can get in there without it being a problem. Whoop. Yeah. The critter can get in there. It doesn't have to. If he just nudges it, it's not going to fall. It's only when he starts to, because you can see. Remember last time it was pretty easy swinging. Well, this time it's not so easy swinging. All right. See, that's not so easy moving, because it's got pressure both at this tip. Oh, right? I think I should have pulled that away. Let's see if I can show you what it's like trying to set the trap. Oops. Okay. I'll try to show you what it's like to set it with the tip up. See how successful we are. Whoa. Okay. See, it wasn't so bad. Now you can imagine that's a real hair trigger. Okay, but that's an inch. Most can get in there without touching it and setting it off. But that hair trigger, he comes in and he just touches that. Oh yeah, done. This is if there's a mouse in here, right? If you caught one, this is the floor, right? This is the floor. You caught a mouse. The mouse can't get out. You can move this thing around. The mouse is going to stay in there as long as you keep this thing. Don't tip it up like that, or you'll lose the mouse. Okay, but you keep it flat to the floor. Don't tip it. You'll keep that mouse underneath there. For those of you who want to, you could actually do the mouse in right on the floor by keeping the bucket to the floor and just going back and forth like that, much faster than that, much more violently. You'll scramble his brains and he'll die in like 30 seconds or less. But here's how you get him outside alive, okay? So you would come along like this. This is on the floor. You would come along. You would just make sure you get that front edge under there. Just like that, okay? Get that front edge over there, and then the top goes over the top. Now, you would never lift the bowl at all, really. Just the sliver to get that front edge up if you have to. But just simply pull it through. Pull that bag through, keeping that bowl on the floor. Do not lift the bowl yet at all, okay? So I'm going to lift it up now, Okay, can you see what we've done here? Okay, so I've pulled the bowl inside the bag. Now the mouse is still, this is all, it'll be a floor here, right? So he wouldn't be able to get out. Okay, so you pull in the bowl on the floor. Now you would take the end and you would make sure that all the little holes are in your hand, all tied up in your hand. There's no way for him to get through some kind of little hole. See, I just felt a little hole there. You got to make sure all these are completely taken into your hands. Okay, like that. So now you got no holes nowhere. There's no possible way for him to get out. You've sealed every hole there in your hands. He's not going to get up to your hand because you're way up here by the side, right? He's still down here. All right, everybody see what's going on there? Good. So now I would pick that up with him there. There's nothing in there, of course, but he would be there. Then I would take that outside and release him. Or whatever you're going to do with them. You can play with them, I don't care. That's how you get rid of those things out of mouse with using that trap. All right? Good luck.